Okay, perfect. All right. So what got you interested in coaching?
Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of felt myself hit sort of a plateau. Um, I want to say around season one of Overwatch 2, season one, season two, hit a plateau and it just burned me out. So I just took a really big break and then came back around season 10. Uh, really got into it. I got that drive back of just wanting to constantly improve, hit that plateau again. But then, I made the decision to get coaching just because, maybe a professional can help me push past that point or, give me direction to get there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I guess the question is why? When you when you pieced out, and then now that you've reignited the fire, what caused that to work? What caused it to fail? Break me that down.
A lot of it was tilt when I left. Um, just getting super frustrated. At the time, I was the type of person to blame everyone but myself. Um, and then really what brought it back, so after leaving, I was playing Warzone and Fortnite and all that. But actually, what got me back into it was my buddies that I play Overwatch with graduated from college. So when they're now that they're done with school, they had more time to game. So we just decided let's play Overwatch again. And then I kind of fell in love with it. Like I did the first time. Uh, so that just gave me more drive to really want to improve because I do love this game and I put a lot of time into it.
Okay, okay. So basically, the situation, the circumstances around playing for was just a lot more fun, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
And so then
yeah.
all of a sudden now you're motivated to play. Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. Okay, so how long have you been a Tracer Reaper player? Like, how long have you been playing Overwatch? Period.
So I started playing, I want to say, I think season 32 of Overwatch 1
Yep.
is when I got into it. And then, God, I don't think I figured out I was a DPS main until, was it season 34? The last season of Overwatch 1 was when I really
Yep.
locked it in and decided this is my role. But no, I started off playing a lot of Soldier
Mm-hmm.
and Reaper.
Yep.
Kind of dropped Soldier. I realized like hit scan's not really what I'm great at, but I had a lot of fun playing Reaper, and he was really easy to pick up and understand. So right now I still play a little Reaper, but I want to say last season is when I started playing Tracer a lot more.
Okay. Was
I
that by
you
yourself in
know
necessity or just for fun?
Kind of both. Like me and my friends, we were just sitting in a party, pre-game, just looking through top 500, seeing who's played the most, and I saw uh Ash, like, I don't, I'm not a big fan of hit scan, so I don't want to play Ash. And then I wasn't good at Echo at all. So then I saw Tracer, and I was like, okay, I'll try out Tracer. And that's actually how I discovered your channel. I just looked up Tracer coaching, and that was that was the
There's
first
a
video I found.
lot of Tracer coaching. Wait,
Yep.
I'm actually curious now. If I go into my coaching VOD compendium, um, let's see here. In channel coaching VOD compendium, Tracer. Yeah, there's almost 100 results, so there's a lot of them.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's it been since you kind of got hooked with Tracer specifically?
Um, it's been really good. It's been a lot of fun. Learning her mechanics and her tech and that way of playing, and learning how Tracer is played has
Mm-hmm.
also improved my gameplay on other flanker heroes like Reaper, Sombra.
Sure. How so?
Um, with the points that you try to drill out, taking short off angles,
Mm-hmm.
pushing up with your tank, calling out dives with your tank,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, sucking up enemy resources, things like that.
Sure.
So I applied it first to Tracer, but then I realized when I applied it to the other characters as well, I saw a lot more benefit from that.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, out of every character I've played, I've had by far the most fun learning Tracer.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So you're here to level up. I'd like to achieve a better understanding of playing the flank DPS role and to achieve maximum value, timing, the correct flank, target priority, when to reset, and so on. I'd like to get a better understanding of where I can provide the most value to my team, depending on comp. Obviously, you've been talking about some of those things that you've learned from the sessions recently. And at the time of the forum, you were Master 5. So that was probably prior reset. Where are you at now?
Oof. So I'm now, I think last night I got up to Diamond 4. So start of this season was really rough.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went 5-5 on placements, and then like every game after that, it was 50-50 for a little bit, and then I just started losing like
Sure.
crazy. So I actually deranked all the way down to Plat 1,
Okay.
and then I got back into Diamond Monday.
Sure. Nice. Okay. Sounds good.
Has your quality of play changed since then?
The last 2 games specifically.
Last few games, yeah. Honestly, I think what it what it was really, I was just getting so tilted playing DPS. I was like, I'll play support, and I never play support. Last season I hit Masters on Diamond and Tank, and then I don't even think I did my placement matches on support. But so after doing a lot of that, I was like, okay, I got my Spylo session coming up, so I need to get some replay codes and get back into it. So honestly, with that focus of trying to, not that I'm trying to get you a good code, but more of the sense of like I need to get back to my peak performance to
Yes.
get you that type of code.
Yeah.
So
Understandable. Yeah.
these last few days are actually really good. I climbed from plat 1 to Diamond 4 in like 10 or 15 games.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Okay. Sounds good. We'll hopefully keep up the progress here. Playtime around 4 to 5 hours a day, 7 days a week. Is that consistently the case?
yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
That
Goals.
hasn't changed.
All right. Any questions with warm up or mechanics? I guess especially pertinent considering the transition that's coming up soon.
Honestly, so like the warm up I do right now, I just have a workshop code. It's like just fast strafing on some bots, and I'll just load up Tracer, warm up my aim, warm up my blink melees, and then I'll do sticky bombs for about 10 minutes, and then I'll just play quick play.
Okay.
But I guess my question for you with the transition, do you think it's fine I keep doing that, or now that I'm on PC, should I look into some like aim labs?
What I would recommend is I would recommend an aim trainer during your initial transition into PC, just because mouse control, and I'd look up some videos in this as well. Mouse control, proper DPI sensitivity, that kind of stuff. Generally, what you're going to be aiming for, I'll type it in here. So, look up /research basic mouse control grips, mouse pads, and mice. Research DPI sensitivity for Overwatch will likely be something like 1600 times 3 in game. So basically what you have is you have the calculation of your mouse's DPI, which is just how fast your mouse moves, period, outside of the game. And then your in-game sensitivity, which is a multiplication of that DPI, essentially. And what that usually looks like is you can set your mouse DPI and then multiply that times your sensitivity, and that's your eDPI. So that's going to be your effective DPI. And essentially what that means is how good is my sense. And most people are going to be playing anywhere, let's just say, eDPI, sense times DPI should probably be between somewhere between 3,500 and 7,000, something like that. I don't know how much mousepad space you will have. Do you have any estimation of how much that will be?
Funny enough, today I actually bought a SteelSeries mousepad. It's like, I don't know. Actually, I have a tape measure right here.
Banger.
35 inches.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of space. So yeah, you're gonna be able to use any sensitivity you want. Yeah, literally any
Sweet.
sensitivity you want. Yeah. So I think for most Tracer Reaper players that I work with are generally like around 4K, 4,000. 4,000 to 5,000, somewhere in that vicinity. Most pro players kind of work in that vicinity as well. So yeah, you should be fine. Beyond that, I think spending time in basic engaging aim trainers like Aim Labs, Kovacs is useful. Just because, you could do Vaxta, but I think having something that's a little bit more engaging, a little bit more interesting, and maybe a little bit more measurable might be really helpful early on.
Okay.
I think that's kind of like the upside of things like Kovacs and Aim Labs is it's competitive, if that makes sense. And that's what Vaxta does not provide. In addition to that, it's also something that can maybe be scalable up to where you're at. Whereas Vaxta, having different strafe patterns is useful, but it's just not quite the same.
Right.
So I would recommend basically Aim Labs Kovacs, and you're probably going to want to do that for, I would say, just like total out of left field guess would be something like a month, probably. Now, that doesn't have to be like hours. It could be like 15 minutes a day. It could be like on the weekends, do an extra half an hour. It could be like 10 minutes. It could just be like whatever you feel like putting into it, use that as your warm-up, essentially.
Okay.
Then go in game, play in game for, I would say, probably 5-10 minutes in Vaxta, in Deathmatch, whatever you want, whatever feels good for you, and then go into ranked. That's what I would recommend. And then from there, you'll make that transition quickly. I find most console players transition to PC mechanics like really, really, really fast. A lot of console... Go ahead.
I had a really crappy PC rig in high school, so I was playing like CS, Valorant, so I'm kind of familiar. It's just been a couple years, so
yeah,
I'm not super worried about the transition. But now that I'm taking a much more focused interest in a game like Overwatch and learning the micro and stuff like that, I am looking to really, really tweak my aim and improve it, as much as I can.
Shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Goals-wise, GM I think is reasonable. It will take a lot of work, certainly, but I think it is possible. I would say there's probably about a 40% chance that you hit GM by the end of the year. Just total estimation. I don't know your mentality. I don't know your time commitment and so on, but that's would be my guess.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, when I got set up this coaching session, it was before I purchased a PC and before I even knew I was going to get one. So I'm not trying to dumb myself down a little bit, but I do I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't hit PC GM. Especially being a new player. So
yeah, of course. Okay, I think my mechanics are fairly solid. Obviously, that will change, but we have a good plan for dealing with that. After watching a lot of your coaching videos, I have a good grasp of resource management, position, and movement. However, I have an issue with target priority and greediness. Sometimes I overcommit on the wrong target and get caught out when I shouldn't. Okay, would you elaborate on that any further?
Yeah. I mean, just playing games last night, one of the things I noticed is when I'm setting up on a flank route, I'll catch myself just kind of standing there and taking almost too long to process what to do. So if I'm back in the back line and I see like a Bap Cassidy and Kiri, I don't necessarily, it's not instinctive that I know, okay, I got to go on this person first, try to distract them. I sit there and I'm wasting time and I'm wasting time and I'm wasting time. And then I'll either finally commit and most likely just get shot, or I'll stay back too far and just kind of pepper them with bullets from distance. And it's I'm getting their attention, but I'm not pulling their resources.
Right. You've not really committed on what to do in that situation.
Right. Yeah.
Have you seen this video?
No.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about this today.
Okay.
And do you have any other questions?
No.
All right. Drop me the replay code and then we'll get rolling.
Sweet.
Got it. Now, why this code in particular?
So like I said, in this game, there was quite a bit of just stalling, not really knowing where to go, what to do. It was a tight game, but stats wise, I know they don't matter, but stats wise, I did pretty well, but I just feel like there were some moments in here that were pretty questionable, some stupid deaths, things like that.
Okay, sounds good. Were there any target priority questions? Because that was one of your priorities in your form.
It'll come up. I'll have to see their comp to remember, but I'm pretty sure their comp switches around a lot. But mainly on this map specifically with Tracer, with the amount of verticality moving from point to point, you'll see in here I kind of have some issues in trying to decide where to go for like my big rotates and flanks. But I think in terms of just playing short off angles, it was okay.
Okay, let's find out.
Sweet.
As questions come up, you just let me know, all right?
Cool.
Thoughts?
I like this.
I like this too.
I know their Sigma's down low.
Is it well timed?
I don't know. I didn't check.
Based off of your gut prediction, let's go back and give you a little bit of context.
Okay. Yes.
How
I got
so?
a monkey on cart.
Yep.
I didn't have comms with him, so I was playing with 3 of my friends. The monkey is the only one that wasn't in our party, so we didn't have comms. But just being up here, I feel like a somewhat knowledgeable monkey would see that I'm back there shooting up their supports and just jump in.
Right. Never rely off of your monkey to do the smart thing. You do the smart thing, though, I will say.
Okay.
That being said, it is likely that your monkey is fighting right now, but it probably would be worth a check before you turn the corner, because you might as well, because you want to wait for that second blink anyway. Right, so check here. What can you do with the information that you see here?
I can go take the short off angle inside that room and just pepper the Sigma from the side.
You could. You'd probably get poked out, frankly.
Okay.
What I would say here is that I like your angle here, but I expect your monkey to dive, but it's actually your monkey's not going. He's actually regenerating his armor, so your timing is actually off. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So you could have predicted your timing to be okay, but it ended up not being okay because you did not check prior to engaging. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The angle itself was fine, though. The problem now is now you've been marked, you've been scouted, and so now you're stuffed. Good recovery. What should you do now? Well, actually, you don't even need to do it now because you can see your Winston's engaged. Right? So now, where do you rotate to? What do you think? What could you do?
I should have gone. I should have just dropped back. Our team's dead. I mean, at least maybe try and support the monkey so he doesn't get totally poked out, but...
You could. Where would you like to be next fight?
Probably over on the right, holding those short stairs.
Right.
I can get over there without them even seeing me.
You could even threaten the spawn camp here, actually.
Oh,
Something to consider.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like this.
I like this too.
Yeah, I think right here might be one of my target priority issues. I don't remember if I go for the Genji or the Brig or Ana, but
Sure.
this is one of the moments I was talking about where it's like I'm looking at this picture, and I don't really know who to go on to. I just kind of start shooting the first person that
understandable.
my line of sight.
Understandable. I'll give you the answer in just a second, but I want to open up one other potential solution for you.
Okay.
Remember when you were rotating here and you were getting marked? They were shooting at you? What's your solution if that happens in this map?
On this map specifically?
Sure.
I'm not really sure. Just take the other angle or go to the other stairs, I guess.
You see it?
Yeah.
Rotation to here.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind. Like, basically, like the curse of mobility is that you have the option to be wherever you want to be. So oftentimes you have to find where you need to be, because the reality of the situation is that if there's a Hanzo here, spamming shots down here, it's not going to be very comfortable for you to push that out. You kind of have to go where he's not, right? So just something to keep in mind here. That being said, it ends up working out okay. Now, in terms of target priority, the rule is simple. You shoot what's closest because that's what you're going to be doing the most damage to. And you shoot what's squishiest because that's what you're going to threaten the kill the most on. So right now, you're in a bit of an awkward situation where if Ana and Brig were over here, I would say just shoot the Genji. If it was the Brig Genji, I might say shoot the Brig because, you know, she's going to pocket the Genji. But because all three are here, who should you shoot?
Probably the Genji because he has the most threat towards me, most kill potential,
Remember, you're going for the squishiest.
and the Ana.
Maybe. Is she the squishiest, though?
Oh, Brig's missing health. Yeah.
Well, but see, that's reactive. I want you to predict before you even turn this corner.
Oh, okay.
As soon as you turn the corner and see they're all in the same clump, I already know who I'm shooting when my Winston jumps. And it's not Ana, and it's not Genji. It's actually Brig. Tell me why. Think about it. What is the definition of squishy?
Low HP, low armor.
Maybe. That's one definition of squishy. But would you define, I don't know. What about the Ana is not squishy right now? Let's start with that. Do you see what's happening to her right now?
She's being pocketed.
Okay. Can the Ana pocket the Brig?
No, because she can't shoot through the bubble.
Okay. So who's the squishiest target here?
The Brig.
Got me?
Yeah.
Just look at the matchup as a whole and then make your decision. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have a problem with you going for the Ana here. That's okay. This is just more of a mechanical failure from your end, frankly. And then now you don't have the recall, so you can't really commit onto the Ana, so you just take what's available there. This is fine. Okay. Now this is important. Where do you go?
Oh,
What do
I
you got?
could have gone. I could have gone up the stairs and through the window.
Upstairs to
Okay.
the window. In fact, even before this would have been the play. You got it.
Yep. I mean, he jumped right in there. That would have been super free.
Okay, let's keep going. Any questions so far?
No, I mean, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think this first round was maybe my worst round. I don't remember. It was a long game, but
Okay. Nothing complicated just yet. Where's your angle?
to the right,
To the right? Where else could it be?
inside, shooting through the doorway.
To the left. Your choice.
Yep,
What would you be your target priority if you took this left angle?
Sigma.
Probably Sigma. What would be your target priority if you took this right angle?
Also Sigma.
Nope.
Um,
You see?
oh, Tracer.
Tracer, right? Yeah, she just like she blinked over the sky here, so she recalled.
yeah.
Watch where she recalled. She like just recalled into the air. But yeah, you take the angle first, and then you shoot what's available. That's basically the entirety of the video that I just sent you. The priority is to set up on the best angle available to you, whether it's the cover, the health pack, or the range, or whatever, and then you just shoot what's available. Whether that's Sigma, Tracer, or Ana or Brig. You got me?
Yeah.
Your character doesn't choose to. Now, you could, in theory, triple blink in here to try to finish this off. You could. But you get your recall first, and if you didn't get the one clip, you'd fail. Now, if you have Pulse Bomb and you want to gamble for that, that's fine. But our problem here, not really our problem, but there needed to be more urgency here, getting to the Tracer or getting to the Sigma on the angle first. And that little bit of hesitation has put you in a bit of a hole. Nice shot. Now, what is your target priority?
Sigma.
Sigma, and Sigma, and Sigma, and more Sigma, and keep shooting Sigma. This is a mistake. You do not chase. You shoot. The only time... What do you use blinks for? 95% of the time.
Dodging.
Dodging, dueling, fighting. You don't use blinks for chasing, usually. Now, you used blinks for chasing here. Why?
She had no recall.
She had no recall, and what was her HP like?
Low.
Low. Was that a gamble? Yes, absolutely. Did you almost get punished for it? Yes, absolutely. Could you have been headshot for it? Yes, absolutely. But it was a gamble. That's okay. It's a reasonable gamble given the situation, right? Here, do you need or do you have any serious motivation to gamble?
No, because the two supports 2v1 that Brig all day.
Right. And even if they didn't, you don't have recall.
Yeah.
So if you fail this, you die. Because who's going to be potentially shooting you in the back right now? Sigma, Hanzo. There's multiple targets that could have taken that trade on you right here. So the better play here is to do what? Well, shoot the Sigma. Shoot, 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 pulse, shoot, shoot. You're in trouble. Guess what? You're not getting shot in the back, so you can use your blinks to dodge. You got me?
Yeah.
And that's target priority. That's all it is. You chase, you cheat, you triple blink. If you see an opportunity, I'm never going to hate if it makes sense. But when you don't have the resources, when you don't see those opportunities, you just hold the angle and shoot what's convenient. Blink to dodge. That's it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you notice how maybe it wasn't perfectly executed on your end, but how you spent all this time with an Ana alive, a Hanzo alive, a Tracer alive, and a Mercy coming back from spawn? You shot the Sigma, and it worked. Why?
It pulled pressure from my teammates. The Ana had
Right.
to support him. The
That's
Hanzo had
it.
to turn to
That's
me.
it. And you did so efficiently and didn't die because look at how your resources are being used. Shoot, blink, dodge, blink, dodge, blink, dodge, blink, dodge, cover, not getting shot in the back. Your angle was good, so you just shot what was available. And so that was the Sigma. And guess what?
Dies.
He dies.
Or, no.
Well, they die,
I get
right?
lost.
Because both supports get dumped
Yeah,
into the
right.
tank while the Hanzo and the Tracer pull off.
Right.
Good stuff. Because you could look at it like, oh, the Sigma never even died. No, you were doing so much damage and taking 0 damage that it worked. Well done. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. What do you think here? Who should you go for? It's tricky, isn't it? When in doubt,
I
what's
like
the
the Ana
solution?
here. She's
When in doubt,
she's
what's the
su-
solution? Remember the engagement here?
go to the- yeah, go to the closest squishy target.
Go closest squishy target. Right, exactly. So I think Ana makes sense here, right? Sigma's equally far away from the Ana. I'll always prioritize the squishiest target when I can choose. And so you're going to fail, I think, because your team has lost this fight. And so you just engage. And I think that's a good fight. But yeah, you did a good job. Nice job. I like this angle. See, even here, you got to be really careful. Post recall, what should you do?
I should have just dropped back.
I think you just stay shooting the Tracer. You know? I think you just stay here shooting the Tracer, you're shooting the Sigma, because you don't have the resources to justify this anymore. Right?
Right.
So this is all or nothing. Really scary stuff right there. Sure. Why pulse the Sigma? Because he was there. Right? Now, what do you think about this? This engagement on the Tracer. What do you think?
I mean, very risky. Something I noticed that, when I play Tracer, and I think it might be a bit of a habit from playing a lot of Reaper, is I play very risky. Now, like right here, I'm diving in on a Tracer, half HP, putting myself in a sandwich.
Well,
probably
you
not-
kind of did, but look what you ended.
Yeah. I mean,
Kind
I
of see what I'm
pulled-
saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So you went from one angle to another angle. Was it risky? Yeah, but it's not the worst thing you've done so far.
Okay.
And maybe if your only other target's a nano tank, maybe you do look for more risky options. I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Now, from this position, your priority becomes Hanzo, right? And you shoot Hanzo, so that's fine. In fact, I actually think the mistake here is leaving. Because what could you do from here?
I could go pressure the Ana.
You could go pressure the Ana. I think you play here for a hot second, poke, 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 and then when you have double blink recall, maybe go for this. This is okay, but when you rotate here, are you going for a target or are you going for an angle?
Angle.
You're going for an angle, and what is that angle?
That little arch right there.
The little arch, right? Exactly. So don't chase the Tracer. Don't chase the Sigma. You need to set up now, because otherwise what could happen to you right now otherwise?
Get rocked.
You get
shot
rocked.
back, slept.
Or more importantly, shot in the back. Right, exactly. Because that's what you can't see. So this rotation here, now we're good. Now we can just shoot Sigma. And then even here, when you do rotate, when you're pursuing, everything is done deliberately. Where should you blink right now?
Inside.
Inside left or right, right? So you could blink here or you could blink here. Your choice. Control the periphery. So that's where things go wrong. You notice that?
Yep.
When you don't make a decision, you get shot and things feel ugly. So I know this feels like a little bit like, you know, very strat heavy, but in reality, the situation is just where's the angle, stay on the outside. That's it. And if you're going to rotate, move from angle to angle. That's all. That's Tracer in a nutshell. That's the entire character. So once you solve that, you are pretty much just playing the same game over and over and over again, and then just mechanically executing as best as you possibly can. Dirty. But do you see what that Tracer risked? Do you see to do what she did? Do you notice that?
Yeah.
'Cause she
Yeah.
So she had a nice angle on the left side. She needed to stay marking you. Instead, she chases your Winston, who, in my opinion, has way too much HP. He's not, yeah, like, this guy is not one clippable, right? But she wants it, right? She's like, oh, I'm going to get it. Oh. And then she's cooked. You notice that?
Yeah.
She cheated. You didn't. She loses. Thank you, Life Weaver. Where do you need to be? Not who, but where?
Either the left or right side, but the
You
left
got it.
side's probably a little better.
You got it. You go left, and so now we just shoot. And the best part about this is it solves itself, because once you're here, he backs out. Where should you go? It's super easy, right?
Yeah.
Where should you go?
Straight and left.
Straight in left. Right here. There it is. You stay on the angle. You go. You may be able to go for backline. You don't have to chase the Sigma like this, right? And do you see how much harder it is to make plays here, right? Whereas here, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
no, that was
Christmas
free.
Day. This is so free on either the Sigma or backline. The idea of the pulse bomb is great, and you do finish the kill, so that's the strat, is to miss the pulse one, secure the kill anyway. But yeah. Are you noticing like the rhythm of what we're talking about now?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like poetry, you know? Over and over and over again. The same rhythm, the same rhythm. It's whatever, trying to push up with your team. I respect it. Okay. Now. Thoughts? There's a lot of clutter in your screen. I'll let you black
yeah.
screen it.
Yeah, no, I can see it though. Probably shouldn't be here right now. I think I should be rotating down and around while my tank respawns.
Well, look at the kill feed.
Oh yeah, no, that was 1 for 1.
Yeah. Are you on an off angle?
Kind of.
Yes. Where's your Echo Life Weaver? Where are you? It's that simple.
Oh yeah, they're down low.
The off angle is not split from like, it's not like going where their spawn is. Off angle is completely relative to your team and the enemy team, right?
Oh, okay.
Like an off angle could be right behind your Rhine Shield. If your Widow and Zen are on the other side of the map, right? Like that's it. Yeah. It's always relative, right? This is fine. Now, who should you be shooting right now? Obviously.
Sigma.
If you wanted to shoot backline, what angle should you be on right now? Just directionally on our screen.
To the left.
To the left, right. So you should be over here and turn. Sure enough, if you'd taken the time to rotate to this angle, then you would have had the opportunity to go for backline. You probably didn't have time. This is fine. But so now, if you go for backline here, how is that going to go?
I mean, I would get marked pretty quick by the Tracer.
I agree. And by the Ana. Why? Because you're playing targets, not position. Is this an angle? No, you're looking directly at them. You with one blink. This sucks. So what you should do is what? If you want to go for backline here, what do you do right now?
Wait for cooldowns.
Wait for cooldowns. You shoot the tank, wait for that second blink, and then where do you blink?
Probably to the backside of cart.
1, 2 here could work, but probably going to get you cleared out, right? I don't know if this is a permanent angle. What you could do instead is blink 1, blink 2 to corner here, play mini, and bait the Tracer to chase. You have the corner advantage, you have recall, you should be able to force her out. Once you're here, where is that backline going to rotate to? They see you're there. They get spooked. What do?
They're gonna back up.
They're going to back up. So who dies?
Sigma.
Sigma. And if they don't back up, do you have a good angle to go on backline now? Absolutely. Even just a 90 degrees here is good. You see it? It's like right?
No.
So this can work, but I just don't know if you have the resources for it. And there it is. You see, you immediately get pressured. Immediately.
Yep.
You were going to say something.
Yeah, no, it's starting to. I mean, I guess it's one of those things that always makes sense, you know, when it's like, yeah, just stay behind cover, not in front of the back line, and just shoot. Like, you know, it sounds simple, but putting into practice is harder.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, looking at my own VOD and you know, seeing my play style and how I can do it differently, just kind of it makes it make more sense, you know.
Good, right? Because you can probably remember. I mean, you do remember this match, right? This was recent, so you remember like what was going through your head and so on. So you can kind of help yourself to make decisions. And I think like the important thing to remember is that while we're making it feel really easy right now, like you said, it's much harder in match. But you do have the tools to be able to problem solve in match now. You're going to do it slowly. You're going to get it wrong about 90% of the time, but that might be 5% more than you did previously. And as you get more comfortable with it, you'll be able to do it faster and more without thinking. That's our goal.
Yeah.
That's our goal. For example, now, with the information that you have now, what should your strategy be right now? And who should you be shooting right now?
Should turn on Sigma.
I think you should turn Sig. Why?
Because he's low health and alone.
Yeah. Well, the real question is, where's your angle on backline right now with the resources that you have?
I can't even see him, yeah.
You can't even see him, and you have one blink. Like, there's no setup options here, right? You don't even have a pulse bomb to gamble with, right? This just isn't worth your time.
Right.
And there it is, right? Like, is it bad that you, like, kept backline contested there? No, I think it was okay. But that has to be an active choice of, like, I'm not actually going for backline. I'm just making them look at me while my team kills Sigma.
Right.
Now, what do you think of your positioning now with where you think the cart's going to be?
I think this is ideal. I mean, I don't really have a ton of options. I can't, you know, blink around to where the Cassidy is.
There's one more option. What is that? As I pivot the camera to answer the question.
Oh yeah, going up and around to where the
Yep.
Ana is.
Deeper angle. Do you have to do that though?
No.
What are you going to end up shooting from your position in about, I don't know, 3-4 seconds likely, if that Sigma has any guts at all?
Sigma. I mean,
Sigma.
if he
Is that a
pushes up
problem?
contest.
Is that a problem? Nope, not a problem at all. So your target priority is solved for you. The enemy team decides who your target's going to be, right? And if they don't fight, okay, well, we're going to push the cart all the way to here and get one fight. If that's the case, then how is your angle going to rotate?
I mean, if they push up into that choke, I could drop back.
Well, by that, I mean, they're not, let's say the Sigma doesn't walk forward. Let's say he just
Oh,
stands
yeah,
here. What do you do? Because the fight's going to happen like way over here now, right? So now what?
I mean, if I can get there safely, I'd like to get up to where the Cassidy is.
You could, yeah. It would be very risky, but it's high
Yeah.
risk, high reward, right? What's
But-
your other option?
Same thing, go around where the Ana's at.
Right. Now this becomes more attractive, right? And again, it's a situation where, like, I don't know what we're going to end up shooting here. Maybe it's tank. Maybe I blink in through here and rotate to here. Maybe I blink in and rotate all the way around for backline. I don't know. We're going to find out, basically. Who do you shoot?
Sigma.
Sigma, right? I know it's Flux. I know it's weird, but you shoot Sigma.
Okay.
This is you cheating. Is it worth cheating here?
If I hit the sticky bomb and I don't.
That's results based. We don't do that here. Is this strategically sound?
No.
So if you wanted to hit a pulse bomb here, how would you do it?
What do you mean? I guess just sticker and blink out.
Sure, but I'm saying like if you say this is not strategically sound, are you saying that sitting here and shooting the Sigma would make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I think cheating here was okay.
Oh.
But there's a very specific reason why. Remember whenever you cheated earlier in the Tracer, why did that work? What did you have?
I had cooldowns.
You had cooldowns. And not only do you have cooldowns here, but you have pulse bomb. You have a good motivation to cheat.
Okay.
It doesn't work. Shooting Sigma still would have been a good option. Maybe shoot a Sigma and poke, force a research rate, then setting up a pulse bomb would have been, maybe that would have been the better option. I don't know. But I will never, I'm not going to usually chastise you. You shouldn't chastise yourself for going for a play like that if it is with a reasonable amount of reward for the risk. And you have the cooldowns, and it's well timed. And guess what? This was well timed. Your Winston's in, their tank is in. Nobody's looking at you right now besides the Cassidy. So there's a reasonable chance for this to work. You see that?
Yep.
So this is a fundamentally sound cheating game. Right? That's the way I look at it. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. And this goes back to what I said where, I don't necessarily know if what I'm doing is the right call.
Sure.
Because in that play specifically, even when I did dive in, like, when I missed the sticky bomb, my friends were giving me a hard time, like, "Oh, nice bomb, Ledoux." and my friends are gonna do that, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, it's like, damn, was that the good call? Should I held on to bomb? Should I, have gone for someone else?
It was well timed. It was well timed. It was good cooldown management, well timed, and there wasn't an immediate. For example, this is the simplest way of looking at it. Okay, let me simplify it for you. I would say this was probably a bad play if the Sigma had not fluxed. Why?
He could have peeled.
Well, no, more easy, even stupider than that. You ready? We're gonna go back to like caveman logic here, because me do more damage when he no flux.
Oh yeah.
In other words, I'm more motivated to go for a risky play when the low risk play doesn't really get me all that much, because this guy's just like floating in the air, man. Like I can't. Your damage is like fine here, but it's like there's not a lot of damage here, right? So you're more encouraged to go for a riskier play. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
So like when you're like low risk play, like is just like not as useful reward wise, then yeah, go for it. Roll the dice a little bit. That's it.
Gotcha.
Strategy was fine. Timing here is not good. You need to wait a little bit. And this is also, I will say, a relatively tricky Tracer point as well. Very poke-oriented. Mechanics here, this is not something we're going to sweat over too much. I think the intention here was to laterally blink. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you had the right idea. This is insanity. The fact that you don't try it again is like, that should have killed you right there. But, that's okay. We can't all be winners. If you ever see me play Tracer, it's like, oh, that person does not have eyeballs. Okay, so low risk, low reward, high risk, high reward. I mean, depending on the time, the setup here, what do you got? What do you see?
Yeah, I could shoot the Cassidy or Sigma, but I think I did go supports here just because of, how their kits are, not the supports, the Cassidy and Sigma, how their kits are set up, can really punish me.
Sure.
If I get too close, so.
Frankly, also as well, like they were initially attractive, but they've become more attractive in the last half second. Why? What's just changed with their positioning? Do you notice it?
Oh, they got split as soon as they went inside.
Well, no, not so much split, but as in they actually moved away from you. So now it's like I can't really safely stand here and shoot them. I actually have to kind of push in, and that just exposes me to getting shot in the back.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? So remember, it's the same thing with the flux, right? It was like, oh, everyone's happy until the old man flies away. And then it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Now I can't shoot you anymore, so now I got to deepen. So then if you are going to go for backline here, staying on our rule of staying on the periphery, how should you approach the backline here for maximum effectiveness?
I probably should have gone around to the right.
Go around to the right. Use one blink to reposition. Come in at 2.5 and take this 2v1.
Okay.
Keep everything in front of you. No flanks, no surprises, no getting shot in the back, and the element of surprise at the same time. Make sense?
Yep.
So you could even see it. You start to shoot the Mercy, you get a really nice clip, but you're too scared. You know why? Because the Sigma's freaking right behind you. Look at that. You're like, oh, you see it? And you're right.
Yeah,
he was.
yeah.
But guess what? If you take it that one blink here, this Mercy dies.
Yep.
Okay. I like this. It's a little early in terms of pressure timing, a la our first point where we think our team's going to push and they're just not quite there yet. But setup-wise here, it's okay. Target priority, Cassidy. Why? Because he's there, right? Next target priority is what?
Hanzo,
Hanzo. Why?
because he's there.
Because he's there. And if people are there, they're generally threats to you. So you need to win the threat. There. Now what? Cassidy. He's there. The real question is, where are you going to deepen from here? So instead of going for a triple blink recall on the Mercy, I want you to triple blink to an angle. Where's that angle?
Probably to the right side of that choke.
You ready for the brilliant answer? Just go to the Mercy. Just go here. Just go to where you were, but just commit. You know, commit all the way. Commit. But yeah, I mean, if you went to the right side of this choke here and deepen that way, that's fine too. Just go. So the irony here is because you focus the target and not the position, you get cleared. And now you're in a really crappy position for the rest of this fight. Instead of committing here with this last blink here, and then here, oh my days, you're cooking. Shoot the Sigma, deepen, shoot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something to consider. Yup. I like it. You can deepen here with your Winston. Yep, good. I like this. This is really good. Get him. Beautiful. Christmas present. Okay, that's it. Nice job. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, any questions so far?
You know, so like with that, not the besides the sticky at the end right there, but that last fight, you know, where I blinked into the Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
How I'm trying to think of like the right way to frame it. What would be more efficient, do you think, you know, blink, you know, from that angle I was at, blinking into the Mercy, or would it have made more sense to maybe think about it just a little bit more and start to set up on the other side before I start shooting like that? Because like we went, killed the Hanzo, I blinked straight in. Would it maybe have been a better play to kill the Hanzo, blink behind cart, and then go around?
So you're saying
Like,
from this point on, like, what should I do?
Yeah. Like I know you said blinking and holding that angle is fine, but you know, let's say it's, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, let's say I'm defending Eichenwald first point, that, or not Eichenwald, Blizzard World, that first choke.
Yep.
Would it make more sense to, you know, stay there, blink past them to an angle, or maybe take the extra 2 or 3 seconds to go around and set up on that side door?
Great question. Depends on the urgency of the engagement.
Okay.
Like right now, there's stuff happening right now, so you're more free to just set up directly through them if you'd like to.
Okay.
Right. So we don't. The key thing that I think a lot of people misunderstand is that like they expect. I'm telling people to like take these like long, hard flanks mid fight. That's not at all the play. You should be setting up between fights. If your setup gets value, like it did here, great. Then mid fight, you have to make a decision. Do I go for the more honest setup this way that will take a second longer, or do I go for the more dishonest setup that still ends me in a good angle mid fight? That's up to you. Blizzard World's a good example of that, like pushing through the choke in towards their spawn because your Winston's dove in. That's fine. Okay. But end on cover, end on an angle. Don't end up in the middle of the enemy team. That's the rule.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Sound good? Good question. Yep. Any questions beyond that?
No.
Okay, let's continue here. This is fine. It's a bit risky. Just to push into their space, you know? Same kind of a situation. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think this was a good play. I mean, knowing their other team pushed up.
Yep, seems okay. And the best part about it is you were on a good angle to start, so you deepen the angle, you recall back to the angle, and then you rotate to a different angle. So it just gives you so many choices. And notice that the word target priority hasn't even like occurred to us at this point in time. Why? Because it's been obvious, right? You just shoot what's there, you know?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna lose this fight, right? Because your team got picked off, but like this was a good fight from you. Yeah, it was good. I really want to trash talk your team just because it's your friends, but that's all right. I'll survive. Okay, now you got choices here, right? Do you contest this angle or do you wrap where?
So yeah, I could contest up here where the Hanzo is, or I could wrap around to that little arch and play that left side. You know, shoot the Kree or Cassidy in the back.
Yep. Really, really good. Really good. Your choices here. Now with what you're, remember when we had this exact same discussion earlier when we were like, what do we do if the Hanzo's just spamming at us right here? And we're like, oh, you just go this way. I think this is one of those situations again, you know? I think with what we know now, with Winston and Hanzo Mercy, I might take the time to rotate left. I don't like this. This is scary.
I think he does get me here.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable, right? Because how are you approaching the angle?
Just straight on.
Just straight on, right? So it's really awkward. You got to fill the gaps where he's not. That's his weakness, right? These static heroes like Torb and Cassidy's and so on, like they're just stronger than you toe to toe, but you move around them, you reposition, you take the positions that they can't go on. So, I mean, that's like a great example of like, oh, I messed up my movement. Or, no, it was just a dumb engagement. Just a dumb engagement. Is this a mistake?
No.
There's nothing to set up for. You're on an off angle. Let's just shoot.
Yeah.
Now you got to start thinking ahead. So
Right.
Here. I mean, this is a long stage, right? Like that. Is it worth it? Right? Like, is it good? This is much easier. Is this okay? Well, could you get shot in the face? You're thinking about pulse.
Yep.
I don't think this is bad. This is just you marking an angle, dueling the angle. It just so happens that please don't pulse bomb. This just reset. It's just you dealing with a tank that's getting hard pocket. That's a 2v1. You're not expected to win 2v1. It's fine. Okay. Very important choice here. What's the choice?
Pick an angle.
Pick an angle. What do you think is the correct play given the status of the pulse bomb, status of the enemy comp, status of the payload? And by the way, these are things that you can be thinking about now.
Yeah. I think best angle would be blinking, like from that choke you just showed, blinking left and holding where the cart's about to come through.
Why?
They can't see me. I can hold that angle pretty well. Yeah, I can drop back there.
Yeah. I'll do you one more. I think the better play here was to go to wrap left and keep flanking.
All the way around, okay.
Yeah, all the way around. Because you did have time and the cart payload position would be in a spot where it's really easy backline pressure, because you have a dive tank, because they're on Cass, Tracer, Hana, because you have Pulse Bomb, probably most importantly.
Okay.
Now, if you didn't have Pulse, if they were running a more divier comp, maybe not as much of a backline, this even becomes very attractive. Or your initial positioning, poking and controlling this angle here, also very good too. And I don't think if you do hold here, this will be a throw. It's just this question of like, which one do you think is squeezing out the most value, right?
Yep.
Where do you need to be right now?
Setting up. Yeah, right there on the left behind the card.
You're left behind card. You got it. You get pushed out this way? Fine. Embrace it. Hold it. This is your angle now. Hanzo comes here. Win it. Winston pushes you here. Live it. I just noticed something. Is that a different dragon, or they always looked like...
Oh, no, that's the mythic skin.
Oh, the skeleton. Oh.
Yeah,
See, I'm stupid, so I didn't see it. Okay. Okay, well, I've just now noticed that. But you notice how like everything feels so chaotic because you are in. I mean, you're quite literally in the middle of it, like right. Like you are in the middle of it, right? Like you could draw a circle of blue around you entirely, right? And that's where your struggles are coming in, where it's like it feels frantic, it feels chaotic, it feels difficult because of that. you know, obviously, like, you muff up the last blink there, but yeah, okay.
Yep.
These linear maps like this, a lot of escort maps in general, can be tricky with Tracer, because if you're indecisive, you're going to get shot in the head. You're going to get shot in the head. These long sightlines, there's fewer flank options available. Target priority.
Hanzo.
Hanzo. That's it. I mean, you could argue here, you should have recalled. Why? Or honestly, just even blinked backwards. Why? What do you think of your setup here?
I like it. Yeah, I should have just stayed there.
You should have stayed there. It's not just in the interests of offensive value, but also in your fight or flight kicking in here is what killed you. Because you run back to your team, and now you're no longer on an angle. You're standing in the open, and you die.
Yep.
You see that?
Yep.
Stay in the angle. You had a good angle. It was a great setup. Casual console moment. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, never mind. I thought you pixel skipped for a second. Never mind. Go ahead.
You said pixel skip? What's that?
Yeah, like sometimes I'll watch console gameplay and it just like snaps like in a direction, you know, like it just like does like a tweak or whatever. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think another slight issue I have is, and you've talked about it before, I have I don't want to say severe and overplay it, but I do have ADD.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this constant feeling of like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem I have, you know, with that last clip where I died is like, you know, you showed me and I called it out right away. I should have just stayed there. But like in the moment, it's like, well, I can't just sit here while my team's fighting. I see Cassidy pushing up, trying to shoot my supports. I got to go kill him. You know,
I don't think these things are irreconcilable, though, because what I'm asking you to do is not to do nothing. I'm asking you to continue to put pressure on the angle that you invested in.
Yeah.
And not to run. The problem is almost fear than it is ADD here. Like, I think good, you know, I mean, honestly, even if you died here, like, I wouldn't like that, but like, if you recalled back here and kept shooting Winston, and you got chased, and sure, your team is gonna, like, you're gonna Merry Christmas backline, you have the entire map, right? Because you and your ball are creating all the space in the world. So like, I'm not poo-pooing what you're saying, like, absolutely, that might be a factor in other things, but not in that particular example.
Okay.
That's not what I'm, yeah. No, yeah, I don't mind. If you're on a good angle and you just want to keep going and pushing, pressure, that's fine with me. It's fine with me. The ADD is more about how you might want to cheat without a recall kind of a thing. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that would be more of like, I don't want to sit here and shoot the Sigma. I want to go post the Ana, even if I don't have a recall or even if I have 2 blinks or something like that. That's where you need to be more patient and do the less flashy thing. Is this good?
Yeah.
Are you on an angle?
Yep.
Kind of, yeah. What's available? Yeah, Winston. Okay, well, maybe we shoot Winston. See, here, ironically, you need the ADD to kick in. I think you're scared of the Hanzo, which is understandable. But like, he might like wall climb over or do something silly.
Right.
Now, this is really important. You're going to blink in here and pulse bomb here. Is this a mistake?
I don't think so. No.
Why? What's the thing we keep saying? What's your target priority?
Closest.
And why are you shooting the Winston? Because he's there.
Yep.
Now, this isn't the craziest, flankiest angle of all time. Like, your backline's here and you were here. But you know what? That's fine. I predict this will work. Frick. But even missing the pulse bomb, look at his HP. Like, look at his bubble, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I mean, 60 HP, right? I mean, come on. You got to finish that off. But you know what? It's fine. Why shoot the Mercy? She's there. And there you go. See, we got the queen. That's all that matters. Is this a good setup here? So you pop the Kitsune, and where do you go? You see the enemy team all in a clump here. What do you do?
Get behind him.
Yeah, you get off to the side, right? You go off to the left. This is good. This is really good. You see that? So when the Cassidy looks at you, notice that he's not quite looking at your team. You notice that?
Yep.
And so he actually dies to your Ashe, who's on the angle here, right? It's beautiful. One big happy angle party. And notice that there wasn't like, I hate to like, I always use the term angles and flanks interchangeably. I basically describe flanks as like deep angles, but that you haven't really flanked, You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Like you've
right.
just kind of like soft poke, soft poke, soft poke, committed. It's fine. Now here, where should your setup be? You got a couple of options. What do you think?
Left side where the Hanzo's at.
You could sit here. Now, could you get poked out here pretty easily?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, he's
The
looking
answer
right
might
at you.
surprise you. The answer might surprise you because it's not that necessarily. It's partly that. But do you see where your backline is?
Oh yeah,
We're not fighting here, so you should not angle here. Where are we fighting?
back there.
Right, payload, essentially, right? So then where should your angle be if it's on the left side?
Up in that little room
You
area.
could be here, you could be here, you could be here, you could be obviously here, right? This would be fine too. Yeah, yep. This is a very awkward point for a tracer, but your rotation here is actually pretty reasonable. Yeah, but you just got there a little bit late. Good. Notice how easy target priority has been. Winston, then Cassidy. Cassidy pops it. Cassidy's one. You blink away. A little bit awkward movement there. Oh, now Mercy's low. Mercy's there. You notice how easy that was? You just shot what was available from a good angle. You got time for one more fight?
Yeah. I
Okay.
got another code.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, no. Now that I don't know. I guess when I was making the filling out the form, I just never really thought of target priority that way. I thought of it as more of like, shoot the Baptiste to bait his lamp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ana just used her sleep dart, so that's a free pick. You got to dive
Right.
on her.
Right. The thing is that like good positioning forces those CDs is essentially the way to look at it. So if you want to force BAP lamp, find the best flank or best angle you can get. If you get the best angle, you will get lamp, and then the BAP will die. That's it. Now, if your angle is to force tank, you might force the lamp on the tank. If your angle is to shoot BAP, you might force the lamp on the BAP, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is the angle itself and the quality of that angle. That's all that matters.
Gotcha.
Cut. I figure this will be a little bit of a good change of scenery. Okay. Problem? What do you got?
I overextended.
Just overextended a little bit.
Yep.
You cheated without a blink is essentially where we're at here.
Yeah.
Was it a mistake? No, I understand. Was it worth the risk? Probably. Did you fail it? Yep. Did you go next? That's an example where it's like you could look at that and be like, oh, that was a mistake. It's just a mechanical mistake. The strategy of what you did, the Reaper's won. I get it. You don't have time to wrap all the way around and set up to here. Okay? So what's the solution?
Blink through while they're fighting.
Blink through where? Where?
I think I'd probably into the mega.
Yep.
Behind that
So
wall.
you'd shoot a little bit here, and then right here. Blink 1, blink 2. Right? You got it. So basically, the rule is when you don't have time for setups, cheat a setup. Remember how we used the word cheating, like to go in with like a pulse bomb, right? You're going to cheat a setup, essentially. And a setup would be like, okay, I have a corner so where they can't just immediately push me or the health back, or maybe they won't see me. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. You nailed it. The problem is you don't cheat the setup quickly enough, and so you end up getting shot in the back a little bit, and then you get poked out a little bit. Now, the good news here is that at least you still have the angle. So there is still a chance you can win this. Target priority, again, it's not even a question, right? Why aren't you going for the supports? Because I can't reach them. I can't reach them. The Reaper's there. So guess what? Shoot the Reaper. Cheating? Was it worth the risk? Maybe. Was it mechanically executed well? No. You needed to pulse immediately and then blink out. You turned your back to 2 supports. You can't do that. So, once again, I'm going to say, cool with me. Just do it better next time. That's it. I'm okay with that. Good stuff. Looks good. Who do you shoot?
Symmetra.
Symmetra. Maybe you could even rotate here to make them turn their crosshair further. Maybe you could rotate deeper to here. But for now, Symmetra's fine. Turret's fine. Don't question. Now, the question is what happens when you do this here and you look and there's nobody here? Or they're too far away. You see? What do you do now?
I think staying put and just holding that angle is still
You could.
good.
But the problem is that you're not doing anything on the angle.
Mm,
Do you notice it? Because they're
Yeah.
just too far away. So then what do you do? Do you thrust? No, probably not. Do you go back? Definitely not. What do you do?
and wrap around.
You wrap.
Yeah.
And you wrap. And you wrap. And if they push forward, you keep wrapping. You get me? You keep creating the space. You keep compressing them, essentially what you do. Because if you look at how they set up started here, okay? You see how they set up, right? Nice little setup for their ball, little sightline for the Juno, Symmetra. They peel your Doom. Your Doom has just created space. You see that? Yep. You wrap right. Symmetra sees you. She thinks about going right. Reapers, they think about going right. Okay, no, we can't. Doom Tracers push us out. So they compress further. If you wrap around right here and press on the brig, let's say from here or from here, what's going to happen? Potentially.
They're gonna run forward into my
They're going to
team.
run forward. They're going to compress even further, right? And then now you've just created fewer and fewer sightlines. And not only fewer and fewer sightlines for them offensively, but it's also, this is a way to think about it, it's easier for your team to hide from them, for your backline to have cover. The tighter the clump the enemy team, the more cover that your team has. Now, your team is going to lose this fight. I think your team has just made some mistakes. But this is a mistake from you as well. Now, I don't hate what you've done here. You've kind of taken a short angle and pushed up and shot the Symmetra from the side. I actually don't hate this. This is a good solution. It may not be my preferred solution all the time, which is to wrap when you can. But if you just want to take a short angle where the backline can't see you and shoot from the side, this is fine. You notice that you're still on the periphery here, right? You're still staying on the outside. And you don't even need to use a blink. You just shoot. Yeah, this is good. Now, the problem here is you run. You should not run. What should you do when this ball comes flying in?
Just deepen my angle.
Deepen your angle, or you know what? Sit here and fight him. Sit here and fight him. Blink back, grab a minute, keep fighting. Hold the angle. Don't go back. Hold the angle. Now, you're probably resetting here because you think we've lost the fight. So I actually think you made the fine. Your play was fine. This is to disengage. This is fine, but just for the practice of what you do if you weren't down 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like
yes.
in general, if I get
Yes,
pressured.
in general, yes. And again, this is good too. This is good. This is your angle. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Now what? Now what? Can you set up this way? Probably should, right? Because what's your alternative? It's either that or you're going to have to cheat an angle. And that sucks, right? Like that, like you're going to have to blink in through here. That's going to feel really bad. You're going to have to blink in through here. That's going to feel really bad. You really don't have time to rotate all the way around through here. So I think you have to cheat. I think you have to go left. I think you are going to cheat an angle. I guess they just walk away. So that's a plus. Yep, this is fine. Just keep shooting. Sure, keep shooting. Like even a Wrecking Ball, that doesn't matter. If you have a good angle on Wrecking Ball, just keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Sure. As long as it's convenient, keep shooting him. Sure. Yeah, I think this is okay. This has been kind of like a messy fight. I'm gonna find, let's just maybe look at one more. Yeah, so let's look at Sanctum, because this one's going to be like very simple, but very hard at the same time, right? Very difficult. Thoughts?
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too.
He's the only one there.
Win the 1v1 or win the 2v1 or whatever. Fight it. Just bad mechanics. You can't stare him in the eye when he turns that corner like that. Same thing with the Hanzo, right? You need to win this HP trade. Because if you win this HP trade, you force the BAP to look at him. If you force the BAP to look at him, you take pressure off of this lane right here. So nobody's pocketing the ball. Nobody's pocketing the ball. You guys push the ball out. Your Juno gets to here. You shoot point. You win point. That's it.
Yeah.
Take a favorable resource trade. So this is where your positioning is fine. You just, again, don't win it as well as you'd like. And by the way, I'm sure you could probably anticipate this, but everything that we just talked about also applies with Reaper. The difference with Reaper and Tracer is you have more ways to set up deeper flanks because you could just immediately cheat. You notice that? You could just immediately cheat. Like you could immediately go, let's teleport here. It just, instead of triple blinking, I just teleport. That's the difference. The problem is that you don't always have the same capability of getting out of those cheating examples. So like you could cheat more often, but you get caught, you may die. This is a great example of it, right? For example, this is well put. It's high risk. It's high reward. My only really nitpick here is just a question of timing. I think you need to give your backline a few more seconds to walk forward here. I think it'll get cleared pretty quickly. Yeah, see, almost immediately, right?
Yeah.
But the idea of what you did was fine. And in a way, you can also look at that as being like, maybe it's a nasty choke. And you're like, I'm just going to help my team get out of the choke. I'm going to create this big noise and then just disengage immediately. This is fine. Because you're like, oh, hey, my backline, my team is here. Backline's here. I'm here. When you walk to the point, who are you going to look at? You got to choose. Now, you could take this time to set up behind them here. Higher risk, higher reward. But you don't have to. Notice we're not even, it's not even a question of target priority again, you know? You're just here. You're just going to get value. The BAP can't walk forward. You know he wants to. The Juno can't walk forward. You know she wants to. So, like, this poor ball is literally getting zero help because you're just like, hey, guys, I'm here. That's it. See, I actually think this is kind of a mistake. Well, actually, they've disengaged. I actually don't know if you knew that, though.
I didn't. I was.
Yeah. So it's a really big brain play, but like, man, just stay here. Like, who cares? Don't chase the 1-inch ball. I mean, I guess it's like it's cheating, you know. It's like, but like, you were doing fine where you were. And the difference,
really just like, it's really just like force a habit on these types of characters, or it's like low health person I can get to relatively quickly.
And that's fine. And that's fine. I'm not gonna. I don't think it's not a mistake. It's just a decision you have to make. The difference between you doing here. Let's last thing. We'll end with this. What's the difference between you doing nothing here, because they're a little bit too far away, and you doing nothing in the previous point on Tracer when I was like, you need to deepen or you need to close the distance on the Symmetra. Remember that? What's the difference? What's the difference between you doing nothing here, which is good, and you doing nothing previously, which is bad?
Putting pressure on them.
Right. Well, okay, but what kind of pressure? Because you're really, let's be honest, you're not doing any damage here, right? Not really.
More just like fear.
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody wants to face Finger Reaper.
The simple answer is, was the Symmetra doing something earlier? Yes, she was. She was ignoring you. You weren't a threat to her. You're doing nothing here is gatekeeping this entire backline. They cannot walk forward because they're scared of you. So you're not really doing nothing, are you? You're doing a lot. So you're still playing your range. You're still playing a good angle. You're still playing your range. You're just making them have to sit and not do anything. Yeah. Now, if they rotated away, you wouldn't want to stay here anymore. You'd want to tail behind, right? Or maybe meet them where they would go. But yeah. Okay. Any questions?
So I guess in terms of not, I guess, this current gameplay, but going into, the PC transition, what would you say are some mechanics I should really be practicing on besides, aim labs and Kovacs and stuff like that?
So when you do make the PC transition, I wouldn't worry about anything in the meantime. But when you do make the PC transition, I would just work on Kovacs and aim labs, like you said, and I would use Vaxta as your blink training seminar, essentially. So never go into Vaxta and just shoot. Practice 180 blinking and putting your crosshair in their head and shooting. 180 blinking, putting the crosshair in their head and shooting. Just 180 blinks or 90-degree blinks, or blink forward, then blink behind them, blink back to where you were. Bam, bam, like 2 blinks. And you could even do the same with Reaper, where like you do like these little micro flicks, like you track their head, but you teleport behind them, flick your crosshair to their head. Teleport behind them, flick their crosshair. Like just little drills that you can kind of put into, I think are worth doing with Vax. And you can do the same thing with pulse bombs as well. Okay. But yeah, and I would do it like briefly. I would never do those for longer than like 10 minutes because it can get very boring. But yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Good question. Any other questions?
No, man.